biggest thing, I mean, we got the 2-hour parking on that for downtown. I think that's going to help, and we'll see where it's going. I think we just kind of let that ride out personally. We'll see where it's at before, I know it's going to be a little while money-wise and stuff on parking meters and all that. That's not going to be a cheap adventure at all. So we'll see how that works out. The only thing I really had that's a couple people brought up to me, this might be a question for both of y'all, on like side street parking. Are you all seeing a lot of issues with that, with, people parking and on side streets and people not being able to get through, accidents? I've had a couple people reach out to me and said that they're having a lot of issues on their street. And I grew up over on Highland Street, so coming up Maplewood Lane, I know that changed a year or so ago where you can only park on one side of the street. Do you think that would be something beneficial we should look at and make most streets one-sided? I mean, or is it really that big of a problem? Or
It's something I'd have to look at before I'd answer that, but you might have.
do you get call complaints, people parking in front of people's driveways or, anything like that? Do y'all get complaints on that?
I get quite a few complaints in residential neighborhoods, parking on the wrong side of the street, sometimes they go parking. And usually we'll call records of PD.
Okay.
And they'll let us know what the restrictions are for every street. As far as the accident aspects, I'm not aware of, but there are quite a few parking issues.
Okay, that's something, I don't know if you can pull up records and maybe we can even look at, some other cities to do it. I mean, like I said, I had a handful of people reach out to me about it. And actually, I got a note from another woman that I don't know what her issue is, but she wants me to call her.
But if I may speak up, in the past, we had done it street by street. If there was a complaint on a street, the police department would go and interview the residents there, and they would check themselves as to whether there was space for parking on both sides. Mm-hmm. There are a few streets that they have changed to make them parking on only one side.
Some of these complaints, I don't know.
Right, we don't know which streets.
I guess they skipped and went straight to.
Yeah, I got it wrote down. There was 2 streets. I'll have to find it. I can't find it on my phone right now. I'll reach out to you. It's over in the East Park area. It's where multiple of them I've called from.
We've got to keep enough space for fire trucks to get through. That's the most critical.
Yeah, and like I remember on Maplewood Lane, I mean, it was, you're hopping through because you got people parked here, and here. And I mean, you probably went down it a few times.
That's the tightest in the city.
Yeah, so, I mean, if, like I said, I think that's a good idea. Go street by street on that.
I do have a question about the person that has the zebra van.
Yeah, I think we've discussed that.
Do they pay? Do they pay
He
for
monthly
that?
rents it, doesn't
To
he?
my knowledge, he pays that.
Yes, ma'am.
Testing.
Chief Bailey said he'll give you your money.
I'll give you mine. I just turned it off, Chief. It was on there.
Testing.
It's on, okay.
Okay. It's a bad mic night. But North 8th Street, the zebra van, yes ma'am, the bail bondsman, he actually pays by app.
By app, he pay, okay.
Yeah.
Because I was asked at a meeting last week if that was still the same. It's been a while since we addressed that.
About a year and a half since we.
Yeah, but he does pay by app.
Yes, ma'am, because other people have brought it up, and they don't know because the meter doesn't show it if you pay by app. Yes, ma'am. And because we know Gary, well, I say we because I used to work with Steve. Him and Gary Vaughn was good friends. And I guess he didn't want to take us for granted just because I know you guys, so he would pay it. And I would be surprised. I would go in before we had, pay by the app. It would be coins in there because no one can park right there but him. I thought it would be empty, but he would actually pay with coins, and then he started paying by app.
Okay.
Yes ma'am.
Can I ask on the 2-hour parking, would you prefer to, after 2 hours, do you want a ticket issued after that 2 hours? Or do you want, if somebody pays on the app, is it okay for them to pay for the rental of the space after that? What's your intentions there?
Well, I was going to ask does this take place when? Start tomorrow or what? The 2-hour free parking?
It actually takes place effective immediately, so it takes place tomorrow. Now, realistically, there's not going to be
That's
any,
what
any
so I
way
was
to
gonna ask
police it.
Stefan, are we going to write like warning tickets at first so that people kind of get used to it? Because I guarantee you, nobody outside this room is going to.
Well, nobody even knows it. I mean, I was at
I mean,
Future
that's
Forward,
what I
and
mean.
that-
So
nobody
are we-
knew it there.
We're not going to be so cold as just to write tickets immediately, are we? Or what were y'all thinking?
I would suggest warnings at first.
I think
I think so.
that's the
too.
right way to go.
What do you think the rest
How
of
long,
the,
Chief, how long?
their next
What are you
week?
talking about, a week or what?
I would suggest a couple weeks probably.
Yeah, I would.
What do you think about?
Fair to people that
Yeah.
they want to change, yes.
A couple
Yeah,
weeks?
and yeah, that's why I was coming down. I drove around downtown on the way here. I had about an hour to burn. I was driving around, and that's what I thought is, you know, I know getting bags would be expensive, you know, to say something, but I'm sure maybe Public Works y'all could put like some, just even if it's just like a sticker across them saying free 2-hour parking.
Well,
I mean, you know,
We discussed this, and what we're gonna do is do basically the same things you got on the 1 hour uptown.
Yeah, yeah,
In
yeah.
other words, we'll take the meter off, put the cap on it, and print new labels and wrap it around there.
2-hour parking.
Yeah, free 2-hour parking.
I'd get
My
with
s-
Doug and Dustin tomorrow and see what we can start working on.
Okay.
How long do you think that kind of process would take? I mean, do you think that's something we could have done by the end of next week, or a couple more weeks than that, or?
What do you think, Doug?
Yeah, we can get done in about, like next week.
I mean,
It won't take long on the program to, the thing for the printer outlay, and we can cut them out, get the stickers up and ready pretty quick. And just, we just need to get exactly, some on the hard signs, so we just need to know how many, and we'll be those, we'll start getting those laid out and printed out. Also, probably by the end of next week.
so is that something like we want to try to say warnings and everything, obviously until you get those up, but let's try to shoot dead next Friday.
Get
It's,
those up and then the warnings will start.
warnings will start after that.
Yeah.
So we're looking probably 3-4 weeks. Probably.
Okay.
Depending on how quick they can do it.
Okay. Sounds good.
I have one more thing. The first Thursday in May is a National Day of Prayer. So there are going to be a lot of churches that are going to be coming and reading. We'll start at 10 in the morning every year since 2011. So just to make sure that those people that are coming to read from those churches aren't going to get a parking ticket.
No.
Should that, they're-
On Ward
Yeah.
Park,
yeah.
need it. Yes.
So
that
Word
box
Park
of it.
is, if we have them put something on there that they're gonna park at Word Park, should I give them something to put on the windshield? Because they're gonna be there for 15 minutes. Oh, could we do that? Would that be good, to block some spaces? Okay, okay.
Do you have something about
We
That'll be
had
on May
discussed earlier, Bill Kelly and I had gotten together trying to figure out how we were going to manage the 2-hour parking, and we talked about the passport parking system that we currently have. I believe that it's probably more expandable than what we've currently are using it for, so I think we can utilize that a whole lot more than we currently have. The pay box at Ward Park is not currently operational, or not operational all the time, I think is part of our concern there. So we were looking at removing that pay box and putting up signs to pay on the app. Is that something you guys would, the pay boxes run about $8,000 a piece. We really were trying to avoid spending that kind of money on one parking lot. I don't know what your all's thought on that is.
I mean, if they can pay by the app, why not?
What are you going to do with the ones that can't pay by the app? Just have that, which, I mean, you're getting 2-hour parking everywhere else. I mean, that probably is pretty fair. If you just have one paid lot, I mean, it's a lot, it's a preference beside. I mean, I don't think that's necessary. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point.
May I be allowed to say something?
No, we don't have any public comments right now on this. Anybody, we'll work on Word Park. We'll
Okay.
Knock one,
Sounds
start out
good.
with Tom. Does anyone else on council have anything? David?
That's a good way out of it.
Do you have anything else that,
I just have a question. So this is going to be implemented immediately, is that correct? So what about the 11:30 to 1:30? That's for lunch hours. This So it's now going to be 11 to 1, is that correct, or 11:30 to
Well,
1:30?
still gonna, it's gonna be 2 hours, so
Okay.
people cannot, if they've been there for an hour and a half and then 11:30 shows up, that doesn't give them from 11:30 to 1:30.
Just 2 hours across.
It's
the
2
board.
hours across the board, absolutely.
Okay.
So I guess the lunch hour's pretty much just knocked out. It's 2 hour free
Right.
parking across the board.
Right.
So,
Go ahead.
I
Department
deal with
head.
these people all the time, so I think a flyer or a letter or something needs to be passed out to businesses downtown. And
I can do that.
especially the people that are using it with their employees on the parking, they need to know that they need to get a city space in the lot.
Yeah.
Paying a monthly fee for, instead of doing 2 hours.
Okay,
Yeah, Michelle
I can do
and,
that.
and the owner of Foster's had reached out in
Yeah.
an email to me and Mr. Jarrow, and he's planning on taking care of that. We're going to send out
Right.
flyers. We're going to put signage up, and like I said, we'll do the warning process. I mean, it's going to be probably a month before we're full force, but it needs to be that way. I mean,
Upland Soul Food too.
Hmm?
Upland Soul Food too, they have that one space there
Yeah.
that they need to load and unload,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, and then the 15-minute ones stay 15 minutes, or the hour, you know, the ones that are posted, they stay that way. This is just where it was paid parking for the meter.
Well, we need to, I guess, specify on that. I don't know. Ask
Does-
the parking commission every,
I mean, you mentioned the food place, Soul Food.
Soul food
Upland
on
Soul
the corner
Food.
there.
Yeah, they
Like,
have a-
what was, I
I
don't
mean,
remember the
somebody put a
story.
sign
They,
up
she
there,
reached
free-
out and
Yeah,
It's been
I
there
think she's
forever
been
for
using
them.
that
Yeah.
space for loading and
So-
unloading.
Dunlop got that
So
And the
just
over.
leave
sign
it
was
alone?
moved or
Yeah,
something.
I mean,
Okay.
there's a sign there right
Yes,
now.
yes, ma'am, with
These ordinances,
I
we're,
don't have a
Soul
problem.
Food.
Upland Soul Food.
Soul Food on Main Street, that was with the last administration, Mayor Rappold, and I think Chief Lonnie Christian, they both retired now. They gave her permission, I think Mayor Rappold actually cut the ribbon at her opening. Well, she had that up for her sign, you know, business friendly, 15-minute loading and unloading. But I was told by the chief, I guess they had a meeting, they told me to take it down. So I just went in here and explained to it, it's not my doing, I was told to.
Okay.
Take
I
it
didn't know
down,
what
you know.
happened
So
there,
it's not there no more. Okay.
Probably should put a 15-minute sign there.
Just like that's a,
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Bagged off meter.
yeah. Yeah, no, I'll definitely think, if we're gonna have that, we need to have a 15-minute sign that's right up the road in front of Foster's and, the Dish. It just says 15-minute parking, yeah, on the left side. I mean, if that's what we're gonna do, I think we need to make everything as uniform as it can, so it's less confusing, so people don't have an excuse to say, well, you know.
That was the only space she had on
Yeah.
that side, so.
Yeah, just make it 15-minute only.
that way that everybody's parking.
But we usually give a grace period anyway, just like with the new placards that they're giving now for all of the federal workers that came back to work. Becky is giving them little rearview mirror hangers. She said wait till like May the 1st before you start issuing, you know, tickets. But we usually start off as a warning. I try to be fair, you know. I was gonna say something else, I don't know if I got it now. But Mr. Gerald, Philip
Yeah.
Gerald, I saw him today, and he said something about marking tires, and I didn't even know who he was because we haven't had a parking commission meeting.
That's what was told to me. Somebody go walk around with
I was like, who is this?
chalk marking tires, and I said, I just paid this exorbitant amount of money to get my car clean, and I don't want nobody marking my tires.
Okay, thank you. It pays to be nice to people because I didn't even know who he was. I was like, who is this man asking me about parking commission and marking tires? But if we did get to that point, I
The
do.
chief told me to just go see the guy that's got the lights flashing, so that's what I did.
But if it gets to that point, we don't have to deface tires. I mean, that was the old way of doing it. Matter of fact, we threw all the chalk away and we left the old police department. But if it did come to that, I have a printer and a departmental Android phone that I write tickets with. I
Okay.
could use that same phone if it says free parking is from 11 to 1. I would just go down every street when it starts. It won't take me long. Take a picture of the rear of the car. That gives me all the information, tag, make, model, and then 2 hours I come back later. If they got there a little before, that's to their advantage. But if they stay later, and then I can delete them every day to keep my memory and my storage. So it's ways to do it.
Good for me. I just didn't know.
And there's a time stamp on the picture when you take the picture.
Next time I'll introduce myself.
You got 2 hours.
8 a.m. to 4:30, so then after 4:30.
Yeah, 8 to 4:30.
I'll see you at 8.
Right, once you put the car there, you
You
got
at
2
7:30.
Then after 4:30 is free all night.
I'll be there.
Is that some sort of humor?
What is it?
Don't expect.
7:30?
He
That's
told
gonna be your golf team.
He told me to say.
Does anybody else have anything else?
Not about parking.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Second.
See y'all.